In any big industrial setting, whether it's a busy food plant or way out on an offshore rig, safety is everything. It's not just some rule book, it's the bedrock of the entire operation. But one of the biggest, most persistent dangers is literally right under our feet. So today, we're going to look at a seriously engineered solution that's designed to turn those dangerous surfaces into solid ground. Let's dive in.
Look at this number for a second. 10,650. That is the number of accidents from slips, falls, and falls from heights reported in Thailand in just 1 year. And that's not just a number on a spreadsheet, right? That's over 10,000 people whose lives were turned upside down, 10,000 families affected, and a massive loss in productivity. It's a huge reminder that this is a very, very real problem.
So that really leads to a tough question that every single safety manager or plant operator has to ask themselves. Are the things you're doing right now actually making things safer? Or, and this is the hard part, could they actually be making the problem worse? It's a critical question because sometimes those quick fixes can cause some major long-term headaches.
Yeah, let's talk about those quick fixes. We've all seen them, right? Those rolls of gritty black tape you slap down on stairs and walkways. I mean, they look like a cheap and easy answer, but the reality? Well, it's usually a whole different story.
Okay, so here's the deal with anti-slip tape. It just doesn't last. The edges start to peel up, and suddenly you've created a brand new trip hazard, which is kind of ironic. The grit wears off, especially where people walk a lot, and before you know it, it's smooth and useless. And in places like food or pharma plants, those little bits flaking off can be a huge contamination nightmare. So you end up in this constant, frustrating cycle of ripping it up and putting it down, which costs a ton of time, a ton of money, and a ton of hassle.
And this is where the difference just becomes so obvious. I mean, just look at the lifespan. You're talking 5+ years for AMCO versus, maybe a year for tape if you're lucky? The reason is pretty simple. AMCO uses industrial strength epoxy or is literally screwed into the floor. It's not relying on some basic adhesive that gives up the second it gets wet. So yeah, the upfront cost might be different, but when you look at the total cost over 5 years, there's no comparison. This isn't about replacing something, it's about installing a permanent solution.
And that brings us to the heart of it all. AMCO Anti-Slip isn't just one product. It's a whole system, and each piece is specifically engineered to handle different high-risk areas with a purpose-built design.
So first up, you've got the walkway type. This is basically your foundation for safety on any big walking surface. Think of your main factory floors, ramps, catwalks, anywhere people are moving around. It's all about providing that wide, consistent coverage to make sure every single step is secure.
Then there's the stair nosing. Now we all know the edge of a stair is one of the most dangerous spots for a slip. This isn't just a flat piece of material, it's actually engineered to wrap over the nose of the step, giving you this bigger surface area with maximum grip right where your foot needs it the most. It's a simple idea, but absolutely brilliant.
And for those high-risk climbs, you have the ladder type. I mean, a slip on a vertical ladder, that's a scenario with potentially devastating consequences. These are designed to fit perfectly around the ladder rungs, giving you an incredible grip for your boots and your hands. It's all about creating secure footing when you're going up or down.
So what's the secret sauce? How is this stuff so tough? Well, this diagram lays it all out. It's a multi-layer system. It starts with a solid metal core for pure strength. Think zinc-plated steel or even stainless steel.
Then specialized bonding agents fuse the layers into a single resilient structure.
After that comes the real magic, a super dense layer of silicon carbide particles. This is what gives you that unbelievable grip. And finally, it's all sealed in with this tough-as-nails epoxy top coat that locks those particles in place and ensures it lasts for years. It's not just a coating, it's a composite system.
Now, a solution this advanced can't just be a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. Every industrial site has its own unique set of challenges, right? And that's why this whole AMCO system is designed to be totally customizable.
It all starts with the base material itself. For a typical factory, you might go with zinc-plated steel. But if you're in a food plant where everything has to be spotless, or out on an oil rig fighting corrosive salt spray 24/7, you're going to want grade 304 or 316 stainless steel. It's all about matching the material to the specific job it has to do.
And the grip itself can be customized too. You can see the options here, and each one is dialed in for a different environment. The coarse level is great for general factory use with safety boots. Extra coarse is for those really tough high-wear areas. But that offshore grade, that's a whole different beast. It has this super aggressive texture that's engineered to literally cut through oil, grease, and all sorts of grime to make sure your boot makes solid contact. And the customization just keeps going. Need a special size or a weird shape to fit around a piece of equipment? No problem. You can get it in standard safety yellow or black, or even have warning stripes or custom text printed right on it. It really becomes a fully integrated part of your facility's safety DNA. But the engineering doesn't just stop with providing a good grip. I mean, modern safety is also about being ready for the absolute worst-case scenarios and meeting some really specific industry needs.
Check this out, the glow-in-the-dark feature. Now this isn't some gimmick. This is a legitimate lifesaver. Think about it. The power goes out, the room fills with smoke. These strips can stay lit for up to 6 hours, clearly lighting up stair edges and escape routes when people are trying to get out safely. That is absolutely critical. And for industries like food and pharma, this is a total game changer. They have an antibacterial coating. It's been tested to international ISO standards, and it's proven to reduce nasty bacteria like E. coli and Staph aureus by up to 99.99%. In an environment where hygiene is everything, that is a massive advantage.
Okay, so all of this sounds fantastic, but even the world's best safety system is no good if it's impossible to install or if it falls apart. So, let's talk about the practical stuff. How do you put it in, and is it really built to last?
The whole system is built for flexibility. For the absolute strongest bond on something like a steel grate, you just screw it or bolt it right down. But what if you're on a surface like concrete or tile where you can't drill? Well, you can use a super strong industrial adhesive instead. And in those food-grade areas, you can even apply a silicone seal around the edges to make sure no water or bacteria can ever get trapped underneath. So there's a solution for pretty much any surface you can think of.
And this right here is so important for anyone who's in charge of safety. AMCO isn't just making these claims in a brochure. Its performance is actually certified against some of the toughest international standards out there. We're talking British, German, and Australian benchmarks. That's independent, third-party proof that this stuff actually works as advertised.
So, we end right back where we started, thinking about the real-world impact. This final question really puts it all in perspective, doesn't it? It's not about comparing the price of an anti-slip blade to a roll of tape. It's about looking at the true cost of a serious accident, the lost work time, the insurance claims, the legal headaches, and most importantly, the impact on a person's life. When you weigh all of that against a one-time investment in a permanent, engineered solution, well, the choice becomes pretty obvious. Safety is not an expense. It's one of the smartest investments you can make in your people and your entire operation.